Hi, welcome back to Production Junction's YouTube channel. This is a series about negotiating your rates as a freelance filmmaker. This is rule number 2. This is a good one. This one is going to not only make your life easier, but also get you more work and at a higher rate. It's really simple too. So without much further ado, I'm going to jump right into it. We're talking about bookings. How to book a job so that the person booking you not only pays you more money, not only loves you more, but actually calls you for more jobs and recommends you to other clients. It's very simple. Everybody does this thing a little bit differently, but there's one way that is the perfect way. So without really qualifying what's the worst way, what's the best way, I'm just going to give you a few examples, all right? And I'll tell you what's better, what's worse, and why. So one way people would do it is they get the contact from either email, text, or phone, asking if they're available. And this, I'm going to use the date hypothetically of Friday the 14th. So you've just been called and they ask you if you're available Friday the 14th. And your answer is supposed to be yes or no. The question was a yes or no question, so the answer should be a yes or no answer, especially in business, right? Especially if you're the person who wants the work and they're the one offering the work, right? The shoe is on the other foot here, like they have the power. So if I call up someone and I say, are you available Friday the 14th? The only answer I want to hear is a yes or no answer. That's it. We'll take care of all the information that will lead from either a yes or no answer, but this is what often people will do. I'll give you an example. So you just asked me if I'm available. Here, I'll give you my answer. So you just said, hey, Edwards, are you available Friday the 14th? I don't know. Let me check. Let me get back to you. Okay. No good. Everybody's got a smartphone and everybody has a calendar in the smartphone and everybody has enough time after they've been booked or put on hold for a job to enter the data into their phone. So that answer is unacceptable. Let me get back to you. You should have that information right on hand. There's a few exceptions maybe because if someone said, hey, I want to check to see if you're available next week and then I have a hard date. Well then, you know what? You just say, look, I have a soft hold for next week. I'll call the person to ask them if they want to make it a firm hold or they want to make it a booking and want to release me. So it's still not a good answer to say, I'll get back to you. So I just shot that one down. You just asked me again. Go ahead, ask me. Edwards, you available for the 14th? What's the job? What's it about? Are we doing anything cool? Like, how many locations is it? Where are we shooting? That was not my best answer. My best answer would have been yes or no. Let's just, for the time being, let's just be in the affirmative, meaning let's just say every time I give you this hypothetical where you've asked me a question, my answer is going to be yes for a while, just so I can give you some examples. All right? So here's 5 ways you should answer the question if you are available. You just asked me, Edwards, are you available Friday the 14th? Yes. All right, that was one answer. Okay, so let's try another one. Hey, Edwards, are you available Friday the 14th? Yes. All right, so that's a second answer you give someone. Edwards, are you available Friday the 14th? Yes. Thank you very much for thinking about me. Okay, wow, all right, so that's 3 ways. 2 of them sound eerily familiar. The third one, almost identical. 4th, okay, let's see if you can guess this one. I'm not even going to answer this one, all right? You're going to answer and you're going to ask and answer this thing. Edwards, are you available the 14th? And I'm going to say, now, why is this so important? Why can't I say, yes, I'm available. Can you tell me more about the job? That'd be such a professional thing to do, right? Absolutely not. Are you going to be the only person on set that this person's hiring? No. This person's got at least a need for 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 crew members, plus the logistics that go into getting into locations, transportation locations. They got to pull insurance certificate. They got to rent equipment. They have post-production to consider. They may have to submit a budget. There's so many things they have to do. So you're just one tiny puzzle piece at this point. When you get on set, hey, you're going to become a very important part of that whole thing. Hey, excuse the wave sound, by the way. This is just sunset at Bangkok Beach in Thailand. I came here for a little sunset swim. But anyway, let me get back to it. So you're just one piece of the equation at this point. This is pre-production. So right now, this person is just trying to find out if crew are available so they can go back to their client and say, yes, I have all the positions filled. Here's the quote for the job. Now, what if you don't know the quote for the job in terms of what your rate is? What if the person asks you your availability, you give them the word-to-word answer, right? And you pass that test, and the answer was yes, and they didn't talk about the rate. Well, hang on a second. How did they get your phone number? Have you worked with them before? Well, then there's your answer. Then the rate is the same as it was on the last job. The rate is always the same as it was on the last job. If you've been fluctuating in your rates, then man, you've been making your life really, really hard. Sometimes clients will ask you to do a range. Oh, this job's 400, this job's 700, but you should have already told them your rates. That's default. So watch video number 1. Your rate is X dollars for Y hours. So it's always going to be that default with a client. Now, if you get a call from a client that's never worked with you before, so they don't know your rate, they're going to ask you your rate, or they're going to have gotten your rate from the existing client. But again, I want you to resist the temptation. I want you to resist FOMO, and I want you to just say yes, because the chances are you're going to get an email follow-up after you've said yes, you're available, saying, hey, you know what, the job looks like it's going forward, or hey, the job's not going forward. If the job's not going forward, then all that was a waste of time anyway to ask them those questions. They say, hey, the job is going forward. I bet you in the email, they're going to have information on the hours, the location, the role that you're going to play, and very likely the rate. Now, if they don't put the rate in and you're anxious about it, you can respond to that email and say, hey, thank you very much for the call sheet. It's been received. Copy that. May I ask what the rate is for the job? My rate is normally $500 for $10, 10 hours. But I don't want you to do that. I want you to resist that last sentence of asking, telling them your rate, because I want you to ask them the rate for the job, and I'll tell you why. Can you guess? They might go higher. Yep. You might say 5, and they might have said 700. Right? So that's another reason why you don't want to bring up the rate on the phone call or ask about the job, because doing those things are going to, A, maybe get you a lower rate, B, annoy the heck out of them, right? And waste everybody's time. And then you're not going to be their first call next time. As a matter of fact, maybe you weren't even their first call this time. Maybe you were the second or third call and they didn't get an answer for the first call because the person didn't pick up because they were on a shoot. And now you've got a chance to move from position number 2 to position number 1. And the best way you're going to move from position number 2 to position number 1 is to answer the question very quickly, so that person can get back to making phone calls, emails, and texting to fill the rest of the roles of the job. And they can say, look, that box has been checked. I just talked to Edwards. Edwards is available. Good, that's done. Let me move on. They don't have infinite amount of time to put together quotes for clients and put together crews for jobs. So they're going to really appreciate that quick response you gave them. So let's go to option 2, which is no. So let's practice that. So you just asked me, Edwards, are you available for Friday the 14th? No. Are you shocked by my answer? Okay, let's try that again. Let's do a different one. All right, Edwards, you available Friday the 14th? No. Did you think I was going to say something else? Do you think I was going to say what you wanted to say? If you were me, you want to say, no, but can you tell me about the job? Or worse, not to even answer yes or no. In this case, it should have been no. Instead, you say, well, what's the job? How much does it pay? Where is it? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing to someone who's trying to put together a job? They're in pre-pro right now. They don't have time for you. The only thing they want to know is if you're available. The job might not even go through. They might be bidding with 3 other people for the job. It's way too premature to be worrying about what job you're missing. And you know, not so premature to worry about rate. You should worry about rate, but not at that point either. I want you to resist that temptation. So binary yes or no answers. I think I made the point there. Now, let me give you a pro tip. If you are available for a job and you're really excited to do the job and you answer just yes, you don't look so excited for the job and so hard up for the job. You look kind of cool as a cucumber. They're going to think you're an expensive person if they haven't worked with you before. So they're going to do a range maybe in their head between, let's just say this example, $400 to $700. Now, if you come across as cool cucumber, believe me, they're going to offer you much closer to the $700 or $700 actually, the $700 range. I've done that when I was an EP on jobs. I've called people up and they say, yeah, I'm available. And I assume that they knew I knew their rate because I got a referral from them or I've worked with them before. But the fact that they came back with a quick yes or no answer, I'm moving on. I'm so excited. I love that person. That person is my number one person, because here's an ugly truth. 99% of what we do on set is rinse and repeat. So you might have someone who's an amazing cinematographer, an amazing sound person. You might have a prop person that is just fantastic and has 100 zombies that they have in a warehouse that every time you call them up, they can bring out those zombies at a much cost-effective rate because they've been keeping them around for years. I know it's a weird example, but these things happen. It happened to me, actually. I'm going to love that person for giving me the quick answer. That person is going to be my go-to person. But the truth is, I don't really care if they get 100 zombies. I don't care if they can mic 20 people, because that doesn't happen. I only had one job with zombies. I only had one job with 20 people on stage. Most of the time, it's one person in a chair with an interview. Most of the time, I only need a hair and makeup artist. And I don't need a hair person. I don't need a makeup person. I just need the same person to do both roles. So I'm calling the same people over and over again. But when they're not available, I go to my second person. I go to my third person. And sometimes the second and third person, you know what? Maybe they've gotten more professional since last time I booked them. Maybe, they answer my question really quickly. And the truth is that they can do the hair and makeup just like the other person who's a higher rate. So if you're going to make a real painful experience for your client, maybe you're going to get yourself fired in a way. Or maybe you're the second and third person and you think they're calling you every month, 2 times a month. And that's how many jobs they do, is 2 jobs a month, but they do 10 and you're only getting 2 of those 10 jobs because you annoy the living crap out of them. I don't think you're an annoying person. I gotta tell you, I love my tribe. I think filmmakers are the greatest. I mean, the worst filmmaker in the world is still my best friend. So I don't think that's the case. But, when it comes to business, when it comes to people's time, it's an unconscious thing that happens. Like, they're not even realizing they're doing it. If you're driving them crazy, they can't even put their finger on it sometimes. And maybe it's because you're just hard to book. Maybe you take 2 or 3 days to get back and you say you're not available. Well, you know what? 2 or 3 times you can do that, but you know what? Eventually they're going to start calling other people, and eventually if they answer quicker and in a much more succinct manner, they're going to stop calling you completely. Now, let me give you another pro tip. This one is for people who have FOMO. I have FOMO, so that's why I'm in Thailand on Bangtao Beach at sunset. I mean, I didn't want to miss this, so I understand about the fear of missing out. Let's say you are not available, but you really want to know what the rate is and what the hours were and the scope of work for the job and what you're missing out on. I totally get that, all right? Let me tell you how you do it. Edwards, are you available Friday 14th? No, thank you very much for thinking of me, but I can offer a referral if you tell me what the role and rate is. You see what I just did there? I just asked them the role and the rate because I want to know what I was missing, under the pretext that I was going to help them find someone for that job. Now, they're probably going to say, no, it's okay, I have other people to call, which tells you something very important, that you're not the only person, and believe me, you never are. Nobody's irreplaceable, including directors and actors, A-list actors. So you and I, we're on the same page. We're not irreplaceable. So what I've just done is I've offered politely, very quickly, the answer no, that I'm not available, got that out of the way. And then I said, if you want to tell me the role and the rate, because maybe I'm assuming that, they think I'm an AC when I'm a camera operator, and they think I'm a camera operator when I'm a DP, okay? So just to be clear, you can't refer someone if you don't know exactly what they're looking for. They're probably going to tell you no, but they might actually surprise you and say, you know what, that'd be great. You know the date now, it's Friday the 14th, you know the role, you know the rate, so you can be a producer for me. Now you've just got yourself working for free. You got the information, you're FOMO satisfied, but now you're going to go find them somebody, and that person might steal that client from you because that person might not care that that client called you first. They take that job and that's it. So I don't think there's a lot of benefit in recommending people unless you've got a really tight relationship. Actually, I'm going to turn this way just so you can see the sunset over here. Isn't that beautiful? I just love Thailand. So I'll just keep, exposure's changed, but I'll just keep, let's see if I can point up in the sky and tap it. Yeah, there we go. So now I'm in silhouette. So let me tell you another pro tip. So let's say you have just fished trying to find out what the job is, and they've told you the role and rate. When you call up someone to recommend them, be absolutely clear to them, saying, look, I really appreciate if you could take this job for me. I'd like to keep this client happy. I consider this client one of our most important clients. I, of course, would do the same for you. If you called me and said, could I fill in for you on a job, I would consider that your client. So by them being fully aware and cognizant that it means a lot to you that they do a good job for the client, you're also giving them an unconscious message saying, don't steal my client, okay? Doesn't mean that they won't. It just means that you increase the odds that they won't, okay? And now I'll give you a final pro tip. So this one is gold, okay? I think you're gonna like this one a lot. So let's say you get a call for a job and they want you for 3 weeks, but you're already holding for this Friday the 14th one-day job, and you really, really want to bail on this Friday the 14th job so you can take this 3-week job, right? Why don't I turn around and deprive you guys of the sunset? I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to this. I think it's because I'm leaning downhill, but I think I can look at that. Isn't that amazing? Maybe it's a little windy though, so I'm going to hold the camera a little bit closer to me because I'm facing towards the wind now. I hope I'm not screwing up all this audio, and I told you I was going to give you a pro tip and you can't even hear it. You know what, I'll play it safe. I've been in the film business long enough to know when to cut my losses and mitigate my risk. So there we go. Sorry you can't watch the rest of the sunset. But if you come to Bangtao Beach, B-A-N-G-T-O Beach in Thailand, you can see this yourself. It's 6 o'clock in December. So if you come here at 6 p.m. in December, the month of December, you'll get to see this sunset. Okay, so you get a call for a job, and it coincides with a one-day shoot and the other job that you just got called for. It's a 3-week shoot. All right, how are you gonna get out of this one-day shoot? It's very simple. You're gonna tell the truth. You're gonna tell the client who's called you up and say, no, I'm not available, but I would like to make myself available because your job is for 3 weeks and I like working with you a lot. And this job sounds very interesting. And assuming they gave you some details. If they didn't, just tell them the truth. You know, I want a 3-week job. They're gonna respect your intelligence for choosing a 3-week job over a one-day job, right? And then you say, do you mind giving me 5 minutes to contact my client and see if they want to release my hold? And then you're gonna call the client and tell them what I told you before when they ask you if you're available and you're not, and you offer referral. You're gonna say the same thing. You say, hey, I just got a call for a 3-week job for the 14th. I'm holding it for you. I'm not breaking my hold. I'm just asking you if I find a replacement, if you'd accept the replacement so that I can book the other job, okay? If not, no problem, I'll see you Friday the 14th. That's it, keep it really simple and short. Your reputation is worth more than the money you'd make for that 2-week job by bailing on that one-day job, because that client will never call you again and will badmouth you. I've never badmouthed anybody for bailing on a hold. It's only happened to me twice, where someone just called me up and said, hey, I got a better job, that's it, and they didn't even offer me a replacement. It's only happened to me twice. Did I ever work with those people again? In one case I did, for a short period of time thereafter, because I got an apology later on, and the other person, no, I never worked with them again. And it wasn't a big deal. I didn't spend a lot of energy thinking about it. It's just, that person was persona non grata, because that's not how the business works. If you don't have books and holds and releases and soft holds, if you don't know how they work, I will make another video about that. It won't be about negotiating your rates, so I'll make it as part of a general series. But guys, if you follow this advice, it took me 23 years to get this level of Kung Fu. I was booking jobs like a beast the last 5 years of my career when I finally figured this out. I figured it out trial and error, and also asking my clients, like, hey, you called me up a lot for jobs. Like, I don't think these jobs are very complicated. You probably could find someone a little more cost effective than me. Well, why do you call me? You're really easy to work with, Edwards. I really appreciate that. Well, I'll do my best. Yeah, you know what? You always pick up the phone. You always respond to my text, respond to my email. You let me know if you're available right away. You don't ask me questions about the job. You don't annoy me with, suggestions of referrals. Again, I'm not suggesting that you do the FOMO thing and ask them what the rate and the role is. I'm just saying if you can't help yourself, that's the only way you can do it without really pissing people off, but they'll never call you again. But if you follow my advice, you'll go from position 2 or 3 on their booking schedule to position number 1. And they'll think you more professional, and if there's a range, they'll pay you the higher end of the range. So that's about it for now. This means love in Thailand. I'll give you one more last shot of the sunset. I hope you guys all have a great time with this video, and I hope it makes you tons of money. And next week I'll do negotiating your rate for filmmakers number 3. All right, peace.